But without further ado, Mr. CEO, Gisle.
Thank you, Tony. Can you hear me? Perfect. 2 years ago, I was up here. That time, I did not talk about our APIs, our new developer opportunities. I will do that today. Not in code, hopefully. What I will talk about today is basically 5 important things. I will give you a very, very short insight in how we are doing in SuperOffice. Someone said that that might be interesting for you to know. I can tell you it's changing. The market, only a little bit about something called the subscription economy. Are you familiar with that? No one knows anything about that? Never heard about it? Good. Then I have something new for you. SuperOffice 8, pricing. I will talk about that. It will be also something about probably an area that you are mostly interested in, which is the App Store. And I can tell you, if you have been important for SuperOffice before, I think that's also about to change, because we are more than ever depending on our cooperation moving forward. And I will tell you why a little bit later. And then I think what will surround everything is this thing here called the cloud. You saw also the opening on the logo here. It was a little cloud. And I think that's something we're all already quite occupied with. But we are in a position, we see things changing, leading up to having to talk more and more about that. If you have questions, they're not welcome. Is that right, Tony? No questions to me? Unless you have a very, very important one, very tricky questions, they're welcome. Okay, SuperOffice is still in what I call good health, but it's changing. As you see up here, I don't know which figure you like looking at most. By the way, these figures are updated from last month. This is a quite dramatic change. Until the end of August, we had more than 700 new customers. And as you see now, 76% of them choose the cloud version. It's not because we have forced them to do it. I would say on the contrary, because we are still, as a community, still very used to, very occupied with, more familiar with the traditional on-premises version of the software that we deliver. So this is a quite astonishing trend. And I think it's so visible that there's no need to argue where this is heading. If you look at the user base, the traditional, not on-premise, but on-premises, those who are used to buying the software, yeah, it's a little growth, 2.1% up. Up is always good. But we see a totally different machine moving on the online side. It's up 28% so far this year. So then if you look at some of the key figures we have started to talk about something we call contract value. Because if 76% of our new customers subscribe instead of buying, I know that some of you guys from Amesto and some other people here doing ERP a lot, that you know what we can recognize and book as revenue in the profit and loss statement is a different thing from signing up a contract with a customer who is subscribing to the software for a minimum of 12 months. That revenue comes in slower over a longer period of time than to send one big invoice for 200,000 NOK or 20,000 euro. And that's quite visible here. So far at the end of August, we had what we call new license contract values of more than 50 million NOK, but we can only recognize 26 because it comes later. And as you see, SuperOffice is still healthy when it comes to the result. That's earnings before interest and tax and depreciation. But it's going down as part of this change that is going on. We're also doing investments in different areas. But this change that we are talking about, where the invoicing is taking place in a different way and booking the revenues is different, it becomes a little bit challenging for a period of time on the result. But it's according to our plan, so we are not worried about it. We are still very, very healthy. So, this represents a shift in business model. You will hear this word shift and change, I think, several times during today. And this is the reason. It's the subscription economy. I'm not going to take you into a lot of Gartner reports and stuff like that, but I would like to go back a little bit. If you look at this slide, I think this is as far back as 1999, when Gartner said by 2015, 35% of global 2,000 companies will generate revenue through subscription-based services and revenue models. Yeah, was a nice guess or guesstimate. And what it means, instead of buying, you subscribe to something. And I think we're all used to subscribing. Anyone has a mortgage here? Yeah. That's actually kind of subscribing to your house. in a way. Today, I don't think we are in doubt where we are. These are two products that you can subscribe to. And of course, the Americans are always quite early. But it's a very good idea, in my opinion, subscribing to a toothbrush. Never again you have to look at your toothbrush in the morning and say, oh shit, I should have changed it 2 months ago. But you still use it. Apple, when they introduced the new iPhone, introduced also a subscription model for your phone. Changing it, you get a new one every year and you pay a certain amount for it. And this is only examples. And I think this is what many companies today look at, and I think it drives this development. They have a lot of these in their office or in their home. This is where they get their power. You don't. It's a long time ago companies started to build their own power plants, right? You stick it in there and you get the power you need. And of course, we're used to getting our internet connection here, but increasingly companies are saying, when I put the cable in here, I want to have the solutions, the software, the data, the backup, and everything right out of the wall. And I think it's quite obvious why people think like that. It's very, very convenient. You focus on what you really, really do in your company, and most companies are not IT companies. They need IT as a tool to become better businesses. So I think this is important information behind this shift that creates a lot, I think, of new opportunities. But there are also some demands here that are a little bit uncomfortable because we have to change. In Norway, we have a saying, it goes more or less like this in English: if you keep on doing what you've always done, you'll keep on getting what you've always gotten. You're all familiar with that. The challenge now is that it's not true anymore. Because if you continue doing what we have, or if we continue doing what we've always done, we will actually get less. Because the market is moving in another direction. So that's, I think, very important to keep in mind. And when we now, during these days, are going to talk a lot about SuperOffice 8, it's definitely a shift in, I think, everything, more or less. It's a significant shift. And we have worked a lot, Guttorm, right? I think we have worked more than a lot on trying to figure out what is the right way to package what we have and bring it to the market ready for 2016, 17, 18, and so on. That's been a challenging process. And after this process, there's only 3 things that remain as before. And that's something you've heard about. SuperOffice, as a software, helps companies find, catch, and keep more customers. That's basically what it is. And we know that we do it also together with you guys, because you have expanded SuperOffice, made it taller or deeper or wider, and together we have enabled, thousands of companies to do this. So that remains. We have no intention to try to do something else than this. So it's always good to have something which is stable. Then if you look at, the product, and I think you are all familiar with the new online pricing, right? Where we are talking about something called user plans. Up until this year, we talked about, well, do you want the Windows version, or do you want the web version, or do you want to have this or that? And we had the price list, which was, 5 pages long, and it was impossible, basically, to understand without one of us experts. That doesn't work in today's market. So that's why we made this change, moving away from software clients to focus on what do you do at work. And if you are occupied with finding customers, well, then the marketing user plan is the right for you. And if you're catching them, you're in sales, and keeping them, part of the customer service part. And then in addition, we have 2 additional user plans, standard CRM for more simple needs, and the complete for the experts, doing a little bit of everything, or a lot of everything maybe. But you're familiar with this, right? Yeah. So this is SuperOffice 8 CRM Online subscription. It was introduced in June, and it's already on our website, so nothing revolutionary about that. This is the price list for what we call on-premises subscription. So that's if you are, for different reasons, you don't quite believe in the cloud yet, or you have something else which prevents you from going to the cloud. This is the price list we can offer that type of customer. And as you see, it's not that different from the other. More or less the same, right? So how do you think then? This is, by the way, the one that we used to call rent, and it's now called on-premises subscription. It's not available yet, though, but it's coming soon. Then we have a third price option, which is called on-premises buy. That's where we have, Guttorm said, keep in mind that we have about 150,000 users related to this one. And maybe 80% of them are using the Windows client. Good. But as you see here, the point is that the buy price list will be available for some. We still have some work to do because we have really turned the product and the licensing upside down by introducing the user plans where we include several products, like Pocket, like Quote, the e-marketing now called Mailings, and so on. It's being included. There will be some differences. There will be more included here than here. And we will get back to that later. By November 16-ish, we are going to publish these prices. Because we are moving now into the market with SuperOffice 8, the beta version. We're going to these customers with on-premises buy, and we're going to roll it out increasingly. But that's the way it's going to be also for them. Exactly the same user plans. And it's a very, very much easier way to take the product to the market, discuss with any company, talk to them about what their employees are doing, and then putting them into the right user plan, and automatically you have very quickly a view of their solution. And maybe even if they are very, very crazy, these customers, they will go to the website and play around a little bit with this calculator, which is already there, and look at, well, how does my company look? And you get sort of the solution and the price that you're looking at. So, how do we get all the existing customers into the new fish bowls, so to speak? We see that some customers have already started because they have seen different advantages with the cloud, and they say, well, we have decided to move. And we are going to, I think, spend years, as we always do, from the moment we introduce a brand new version of the software to we have migrated all customers. But we see some possibilities here now that, at least for some, quite a lot of companies, we have a possibility to make it very easy for them to migrate very quickly. But more about that later. So if you are an existing customer, this is what we go out with. Of course, we tell them first about what, in professional terms, CRM-wise, functionality-wise, how we can help them to find, catch, and keep even more customers. And then after we have looked at that, then of course we present the different options, where they have the same user plans as you have just seen. And there is no secret that many are orienting themselves in this direction. And we will make it attractive for them. So 3 different price models, but with exactly the same user plans. So starting in, that's also the date we have still to discuss a little bit, Guttorm. But starting when we are ready. When is that? And this is a big change. Some of my colleagues have said, no, you shouldn't say that, because are you sure it's correct? No, of course, we're not sure about anything. You can never be 100% sure of anything. But what we see is that more and more, and you saw it yourself, 76% are going for cloud. We are in the subscription economy, and our goal is to introduce to new customers 1 out of 2 options. We will support people who wanted on-premises, and then we call it SuperOffice 8 on-premises subscription. And if you want the cloud, it's what we already have. And that means no more buy to buy. That was funny. They didn't laugh. But it's a quite bold move. But just to make sure that you don't miss anything, we have a bunch of customers, and I think we will have a bunch of customers who still would like to remain there after they migrate to 8. So for the existing customers, there's nothing to worry about. You don't need to force them to anything, or we don't need to force them to anything. We have all the options they're used to. So that's that. So when you then go to a customer, we have, let's say, 6,000 companies out there using SuperOffice. They come in all different shapes, sizes, colors, and so on. But it's a fact that we have a large number of what we call clean customers who have maybe a product that you guys have already made ready for the App Store. And they have the sales and marketing solution without too many other complicated integrations and so on. And to them, I think it's very important to be able to say, well, if you want to migrate to the cloud, you can do it, and it's very available for you. It's not an expensive technical consulting project. It's unassisted. And this is, well, it's so new that this is a drawing that I had to make myself. Because the screen used in R&D, because it actually works already. But they haven't spent time on the design, so I had to polish it a little bit, but it has exactly these buttons. So you can imagine, as an administrator, you click somewhere and you say, we would like to migrate. You get a file, an exe file that you just start. There is no installation of it. You log in. You confirm that you have accepted the terms, and you migrate. And of course, depending on the size of your solution, it might take a couple of minutes. But this tool is also something a partner would obviously use as part of migrating customers. Because it's a fact, many companies still want to have a hand to hold. But this is an option which goes, as you see, very, very much in the direction of helping yourself. February 2016, that's the moment where we plan to introduce SuperOffice 8 and press the big button, so to speak. Until then, we are running the beta phase. After that, what we have called the ramp-up phase, getting ready, training everyone, getting to know all the details, having meetings with all you guys to plan what we do together with you, and I will get to that in a minute. So that's a very exciting and important moment. And we have a lot to prepare, both from our side and together with you. If you look at something called customer experience, I think what is going on today is that customers expect more from us. They still want to talk to people, of course, but they expect more to be available to them online. And I'm sure you yourself use it all the time. So we're introducing, it is already introduced, our customer community. Like everything else, it's building up more and more content, but already now it contains something called Learn the Essentials for a customer who wants to go in and learn the basics of how to use SuperOffice. It's a place to get inspired, and it's obviously also a place to get help. We have a team of people here in Oslo working with a very clever gang of people in Vilnius developing our success programs. And these are a set of email programs adapted to different types of roles. Those who find, catch, and keep customers, and there's also something for the administrator that they can subscribe to. And of course, the goal here is to help every user to get to a point where they are using it better, wider, and deeper. I think you all know that many of our customers have what we call a gatekeeper who are saying, no, everything goes to me, and I'm deciding what we feed to the users. I think that's a very old-fashioned way of looking at things. We want to enable people to do their job better and not preventing them from doing it by filtering information. That's sort of some other nations thinking in that way. And those nations are becoming extinct, as we know. And I think this, and if you look at also what I just told you about the price plans, the user plans, the fact that they can migrate themselves if they want to, and that they can help themselves, I think if you talk about the customer, it's definitely more options made simple, which is the subject of today. Now to something which is maybe more straight into what you are mostly interested in. It's the App Store. We know that thousands of our customers need something on top to say yes. Because what Guttorm and his team has developed at that time might not be enough for them to fulfill all their needs. And that's where the app stores, or the App Store and the apps, and you, our partners, have a very, very important position. I think we can go back in time, and we have talked with many of you. How can we cooperate better? How can we market your solutions better, and so on? And to be honest, I don't think we have been very successful in doing that. We have talked a lot, and we have done not that much. I think the App Store offers a totally new dimension in that picture. This is basically what it is today, right, Catherine? Oh, you have a new one. Good. So you know, if you send a customer here, then if you're e-marketeer, you say, well, that's enough. That's all they need on top of SuperOffice. Or if you are InfoBridge and you see, well, the Nebula synchronizer combined with eMarketeer, then that's at least everything everyone needs. That's true. So we have a lot of 9 valuable apps here at the moment, but obviously this is an arena where we together can show how wide SuperOffice is. If this is empty, it's only SuperOffice left. And we know it based on history that a lot of companies, as I said before, they have some other needs around it that only you guys can fulfill. If you go to the on-premises side, how many different extensions or applications or integrations do you think are available out there in the market? It's hundreds. Maybe more than 1,000 even. And we need to bring them into the App Store. I know that we will spend a little bit more time than until February 2016 before we have 1,000. But it's just to illustrate that we have ambitions related to filling it. Because it is strategically important, we want it to function as a marketplace where any customer using SuperOffice in any market, not only in Norway or in Denmark and so on, can go in here and see a wide selection of value-added applications that work seamlessly with SuperOffice. There is a green cloud up here, which to me is very important. The more we have standardized apps here, the more we can deliver to the customers. If you deliver something which is especially made for one customer, do you think it's easy to get number 2 and 3 and 10 and 20 and 100? No. But if we together manage to make standardized apps here that can be configured to each customer, the volume possibility is right there in front of our feet. You look extremely serious now. I thought you were going to like this. Just to emphasize again, in case you missed it, I really hope that we can build this into a substantial business opportunity for both of us. And we have said it before, Guttorm, correct me if I'm wrong, we are not planning to have a piece of the pie, to put it in plain words. This is something you do on your own. We put it into our App Store, we market it, and so on. And whatever comes out of it is your business. What we also see, there are some new companies coming along because they see, oh, they are already familiar with being in different app stores of other companies. And of course, especially in the Scandinavian market, SuperOffice has a certain footprint, which is interesting. So we have some other companies coming along and saying, well, is this open? Yes, of course. Everyone are welcome. So that's also something which will help fill the App Store over time. And just to make it absolutely clear, the goal we have is to make a large selection of value-added and high-quality apps. We will not let anything in. There is a filter, and there is an approval process going on here. So I hope you will join us in getting there and making sure, if you are not already 8 ready, I think it's very, very wise to also, whatever you have for Windows, move it over to web. And I can only say, please, I cannot force you to do anything, but I hope you will join us and make sure that the App Store becomes the marketplace. I think it can become, and together we can make it into a very nice business opportunity. SuperOffice CRM Online. I know that a lot of you and a lot of my colleagues in SuperOffice say, yes, but that's a small solution for small companies, 3-4 users, standard, no integrations, nothing. For serious people like us, you know, be serious. We can't do business with that. I know that SuperOffice CRM Online is already something very different. And that's why I want to play a short movie. It's some people who have already seen the light. They have done a lot with SuperOffice CRM Online. It's a 6-minute long video, so I was a little bit in doubt, is it too long? But it's, you know, now we're in the inner circle, so I hope you can bear with me, and maybe you will be surprised by some of it, but I think it's interesting, and it shows where we are right now. Is it possible to change that?
To search for businesses. No, you have to search for contacts.
Okay. Hello there.
Hi, and please welcome to Visma's headquarters in Oslo, and to a company that actually have more than 10,000 customers and have a revenue of 650 million NOK. For a couple of years ago, we started discussing how to treat these customers in a good manner, how to treat prospects and suspects. And everyone told me that, Visma software is so special, we are so special. We cannot use a cloud-based system, we have to have it on-premise so we can integrate it with everything that we need. But I said, no, we would like to go for a cloud. It has to be in the cloud. So in December last year, we decided we are going for a cloud-based CRM system. And you guessed right, yeah. We chose SuperOffice Online. And then we put a project manager to actually solve the problem and the idea of getting this into our organization. Please welcome Julia Grönlund.
Hi.
Hi, Julie.
Hi.
I have to ask you, you started as a project leader for the CRM project in December.
Yes.
How long time and how much money do we spend to get a solution up and running?
We were up running the 8th of April. For
8th of April
3-4 months.
this year?
Yes.
So that means 4 months in total?
Yeah.
3.5?
3.5, yes.
Yeah. And we spend 10,000 million NOK to get there, or?
We spend 2 days consultants from SuperOffice and then some internal cost of the employees involved in this project.
So the 8th of April,
Yes.
we got a full standardized SuperOffice online solution in the cloud,
Yes.
in this building. For how many users?
We were 80 users at that time, and now we are 120 users.
Yeah. I told them that we are so special. We are so special. Is it possible? What about integrations? What about information from the economy system or whatever?
Yeah.
How is that solved, or?
Yeah, during this half year, we have achieved integration with SuperOffice Online and the ERP system and the license system. We have views from BizWeb, which also shows us all the organization information we need to know. So yes, it's possible.
Yeah, but actually we went for Google
Yes,
as well.
We
And
did.
Have we integrated with the other cloud solution?
the other cloud. Yeah, that's a very good point. We are totally in the cloud. We are device independent. We can log on to every device and we have the same information. So we went for Google. So when we log on, we use the Google user name and password and click into SuperOffice, and we use Google Sheets, Google Docs, and everything from SuperOffice Online.
Yeah.
Everything in the cloud.
Everything in the cloud.
Yes.
That's good. the effect of actually getting SuperOffice online into this organization, is it getting better or worse? Worth.
It's much better, I have to say.
Why?
Especially
And
when
how?
it comes to the service level. Both the service to the end customers and our partners.
In which way?
Because every email, every case coming into this company will appear in the SuperOffice service system. And every case has a unique ID, and they can move cases in between departments, and they are much more efficient with these new solutions.
How much more efficient are our customers centered today than before?
50%.
50% reduced time to
For
solve
each
for
case.
each cases. But you saw something else.
Yeah, we also saw that we have 40% more cases.
Okay. And why?
Why? Because we catch up every case. Earlier, 40% of the cases went into the black hole. Nobody saw it. So now we can take all the cases and make sure that everybody gets feedback on the issues.
So it's a better pipeline management of prospects and suspects,
Yes.
and it's better customer support due to actually have control over the pipeline of things that people and customers ask for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just to tell you, other guy, is this good? Let's ask Julie what kind of score she will give SuperOffice Online as a CRM tool in the cloud.
The
Really?
score, yes.
I have to ask you. On a scale from 0 to 10, 10 is the best and 0 is really rotten, where could you say to friends and family this CRM SuperOffice Online solution is?
I will give it an 8.
An 8?
Yes.
so many people joining up for Expandable. Is the sound okay, or? Yeah. You heard, I'll spend 45 minutes now talking about, well, from a more technical viewpoint, the changes that the business changes that Gisle has outlined for you. So I'm not a technical guy myself, actually, but we'll try to look at the technical side of what we've been through. And it's actually not, I think it's also the story not only about how SuperOffice is coping with this situation, but also how a lot of our ISV partners are in the same process. It's a kind of a disruptive technology, disruptive times. If you don't cope with the situation that we have today, you will be shrinking your business quite rapidly, actually. But before I go to the first slide, partners has always been very important to SuperOffice. In the on-premises market, we know that about 75%, maybe even 80% of new sales is affected and supported by partners. It's a quite high percentage. In the cloud, it's not like that today. So of course, we will spend these 3 days mainly preparing you for the cloud. That's the main message, because that's the direction, as you saw from Gisle's presentation. And we have to use a lot of efforts to go in that direction. So of course, we want all our new sales, even more than 80%, to be affected and supported by software from partners. But we still have a way to go, both in SuperOffice and the partners. But some of you have come as far as SuperOffice, and I'm happy to see that. Okay. First, if you go, well, not more than 6-7 years back, this was the challenge of SuperOffice R&D. It was a product. We were a product development department. We still are. And the task was adding a new GUI from time to time, every 5th year, approximately. New features, new technology. Pretty simple, as it seems now. Now it looks like this. We're not delivering only CRM products. As you can see on the left side, we have been developing a cloud platform, and we are a hosting partner for our customers now. So we have been moving from being a pure software vendor to a hosting vendor as well. And it's quite a lot of development inside that. On the right side, you see that the automation, the provisioning, the connection between the products and what you call the internal systems is very close. So we can't really look at this as one product department anymore. We also have to look at all these 3 main elements. And I will quickly go through what I mean by these 3. Of course, they're connected. They're kind of the backbone for everything we deliver. And but before this is much about technology. I can hear that. You heard, even Gisle talked about technology this time. And the rest of these 3 days is, of course, about technology. But let's not forget that our users, they care mostly about the features and functions of our software, not the technology. They don't really care whether it's a Windows client or a web client, or it's a web on premises or a web based in the online. They're running our software in a browser. They don't care whether it's hosted inside or outside the business. So what makes our users, our customers more efficient and productive is the features of SuperOffice and your software, of course. But still, we are using more than 50% of our resources in development on technology, pure technology, every year in every project. Because if you don't do that, you will fall behind and you're out of business. So that's our destiny. But be aware. I think that the last years, at least we feel that we have been using too less resources on developing new features and functions, and a lot in new technology. There will be a couple of product directors after me, product managers, and they are mainly in this business to produce new features. And they're slightly frustrated now because we're using so much energy on technology. But we just have to do that. I think it's the right thing to do. So we have a history, a record of producing new versions. This is what the users appreciate. And now we are introducing 8. Actually, we introduced 8 in May, June. So it's in the online environment already, online first. And SuperOffice 8 is the first version that is built for the cloud and on-premises. It's a complete portfolio of features and functions available both on-premise and in the cloud. You know about these things, I suppose. New user plans, new UI. Pocket is totally rewritten, so using now .NET technology and not Java anymore. And we have a new marketing function, module, sales improved, and service improved. And this is what the users really appreciate when we launch new versions. So let's not forget that in this talk about APIs and technology and Windows clients and whatever. Cloud platform and operations. Let's have a brief look at our technology evolution ever since 1990. We have been developing the Windows client since 1990, and we still are. But as you can see here, it's fading out. No doubt, it's fading out. I'll come back to that later also. We introduced the web applications in 2006. I think it was November, late 2006. Started that development actually in 2003 and 4, introduced it in 2006. Still going strong. Mobile apps in 2006 and 7. And we introduced the web application and the mobile apps in online environment in 2010. So you can see this, we have been building new stuff, new technologies all along the way, but at the same time, we've been very careful about taking care of existing customers. Very careful. But as this number of clients and technologies grow, I think we have to move some of them a little bit further away. But in many ways, existing customers are our base and foundation for our business. I think 60%, 50% of our revenues comes from existing customers. So of course it's important to build new stuff and bring all the old customers onto the new technologies all the time. It's very, very important. Don't run away from existing customers. It's very stupid. What have we done in other areas? When it comes to deployment strategies, we have, of course, delivered on-premises, and from 2010, we delivered both on-premises and online. And we have no intention of moving away from that. It will be on-premises and in the cloud. We don't expect every customer to choose the cloud. We think it's a competitive advantage that we are able to deliver on-premises and in the cloud. And it's going to be the same application. It's the web-based application from SuperOffice, and it's exactly the same code base. No changes are made. Of course, we didn't offer hosting until 2010, and now we do. And it expands our business. That's why the revenues per customer grows, actually, because we are offering hosting in addition to software. That's how it is. Release strategy, we'll talk more about that in a few minutes. Traditional software release. You know what it's called now? Online first and continuous delivery. You saw online first for the first time this year. SuperOffice 8 was introduced in the online environment first, and now we're introducing in on-premise. That's going to be the rule for the future. Online first, and then on-premises. A bit more about that later on. And then about the integrations, the APIs, SuperOffice. It's nice to see so many familiar faces here. I mean, there are people in this room that have been using the APIs of SuperOffice since 1993. I'm looking at you, Gisle. I think that was one of the first. There are a couple of others as well. And now we're moving them into the cloud. Basically, there are much of the same APIs that we have for many, many, many times. So one of the challenges we have now is that the Windows interfaces, the COM interfaces, are not available in the cloud. So we just have to change, go away from the COM interfaces and find new ways of introducing the same based on the web applications. It's a common challenge we have if you're going to continue supporting our new sales. So there's evolutions all over the place, and even more, I would say. Building a cloud has been a tremendous task the last 5-6 years, I would say. And we have come a long way, but we're not far from finished. Far from finished. And all these terms is something we have to learn and explore and implement, so that we can introduce a cloud-based solution, professional solution. And I must say it's been very challenging and extremely motivating. I mean, this is really changing things. If you, these days, are not getting up in the morning, eager to get to work and try to understand this picture and move your legacy software into this direction, you should probably change to another job. And I also have to say I'm really impressed by the technicians. I think both we and our ISVs has been using existing staff, existing resources to take on this challenge. We're not been employing new people to take on this. So the people have been learning a lot. Existing people have also been learning a lot to cope with these challenges. Very interesting and extremely important for the business. And impressive, I would say so. And this is not only the story about SuperOffice, but a lot of the ISV partners as well. Well deserved. Okay, so what about the internal systems and automation? This was the picture as it looked a few years back. Again, very simple. We were internally in SuperOffice. We were, of course, using SuperOffice. We have a licensing system, as all of you guys have, that are producing standard software. We had a very easy connection to the ERP system. That's basically all. That's what it looks like. Today, it looks like this. It's not a fake picture. Every component here is real. And on top of this, this is something we make ourselves. The red systems here are something we develop inside SuperOffice. So we didn't used to have that, but now we have a department, a team that only works with this picture. They're not working with product development. They're only taking care of the integrations and making this as automated as possible. And why are they working with automation? 2 reasons. One, to reduce the costs, administrative costs for SuperOffice. That's by automation. And the second one, to increase and enhance the user experience of using SuperOffice. Getting a customer, being a customer, and receiving updates. 2 reasons: reduce cost and increase usability of the software. It's a very important team, and you can see why they're so closely connected to our revenues and the future of SuperOffice. It wasn't like this before. And it also requires a cooperation inside the company that we didn't used to. R&D has to work with the online team, the finance team, the marketing team, and the IT team of SuperOffice to create these solutions. Different stakeholders, different system owners than we used to. So this is the future. Not only the CRM products, we also have to cope with the different platforms and internal systems to make this work. This is the market expectations. Okay, back to a bit more technology. And it's about how we balance our business. The next pictures will be about technology, but it's really about how we balance our business. We have these 3 platforms: the Windows client, the web client, and the online platform. And what you see today, as Gisle told us, the demand from the market is very much related to the online platform and web-based solutions, new customers. There's a very little demand now for Windows clients. SuperOffice still sells a lot of Windows clients, but I think that's old habits, mostly, and some partner integrations. We have dedicated our development resources according to the demand. So we have a lot of resources on web and online, and not so much on the pure Windows client anymore. So far, so good. But if you look at the number of users we have, existing users, it doesn't really match up. We have a huge number of customers, users, are using the Windows platform. Gisle said 150,000. I think 110,000 users are using the Windows client. And when you look at this picture, you will probably understand that we have to move, because this is the direction of the market and the new customers, and we can't leave existing customers behind with this, sorry to say that, kind of old technology. We just have to move on. It's dangerous to leave these customers behind for all of us, because they represent so many revenues. So what are the means to change this situation? What are the drivers of this shift from Windows clients to web clients? One, the migration project. When we introduce SuperOffice 8 to existing customers, we will provide what we call strategic offers. We will make it beneficial for the customers to move in that direction. It's more like carrots than whips, you know that picture. If they want Windows, as Gisle said, if you still want a Windows client, it's okay. We're not going to make trouble, but we will make it interesting to move in the web and online direction. More about that later. The price plans will have the same, and you saw that. Gisle are indicating that there's no more sale of the Windows client, or the buy, sorry. The buy will disappear from the price list. And there's some details also in the price plan that makes it more interesting to move in the web and online environment. And last but not least, if the important partner applications, add-ons, not are web or online client compliant, we will have what we call friction in that process of moving the customers. This is so much text, so I thought it's better to read this together than just trying to explain it. If partner add-ons that are not web or cloud compatible represent what we call friction in that process, moving existing customers from 7 to 8. Not all of the capabilities of the Win environment are available for SuperOffice Web and Cloud. We know that. We still miss something. But we're working on it, and you have to get around this and find ways of getting into the web cloud business anyhow. Don't wait for SuperOffice to finish and deliver everything legacy compatible. If you wait too long, the cow dies as the grass grows. Is that a good English expression? Norwegian will understand it. Meaning we're losing business and market position. We can't really copy what we made in the Windows environment. Okay, next topic is about continuous delivery and online first. You know this picture, this strategy. You've all been using it and receiving it. It's every 5th, 6th year, a main release, service release, and so forth. You know this picture. This is very old school. Very old school. This one looks better, doesn't it? This is a picture of the 7.5 project. And remember, this is June. Yeah. We introduced Alpha in June That meant we started the 7.5 project at least 12 months, not years, 12 months before that. And when did we release it? Well, I had to search these boxes, and well, yeah, here. February. That means 8 months from we actually was done with the programming of the features we used to stabilize, to test, have the beta programs, and get ready for the market. 8 months. And that's a very expensive period for SuperOffice, actually. And the customers have to wait. These projects are like, if you have a car, you take out the whole engine, you put it on the floor in the garage, and you put everything apart. And then you start working on the different pieces of the engine, different teams on different engines, and at some point in time, you say, now it's enough, now it's good enough, and you start assembling the whole thing again. And you probably have this image of what it takes to make that engine run again smoothly, so that you can turn a key and off you go. It's too expensive. It's very old school. It doesn't work anymore. It's too complex. So, what's the new school then? It looks in a way like this. And I say, we're already there. We're using this model now. So we are updating online every second week. We deploy new versions on CRM Online for all customers. So every second week, we deploy a new version in CRM Online. That's why we call it the continuous delivery. It's a train coming, train goes. The features that are ready are going in. If you're not ready, you have to wait for the next train. If you're on the platform, because our operations manager, he runs the trains. So they come all the time. And the programmers, if they're done with the feature and it's tested and approved, then you can be on the platform, go on the train, and out to the customers. If not, you have to wait for next. It works amazingly, at least for me. Actually, it's not online first. We deploy our own software internally first. So it's SuperOffice first, and then online. That's just to lower the risk, and you probably understand why. So we built that into the release process. Every second week, we deploy new versions inside SuperOffice. So what about you guys? How does this affect you? When SuperOffice start releasing new software in the cloud? Because this is in the cloud. We can't release new software to the on-premises customers every second week. You could, but we don't. So I don't have that question ready. Maybe you can discuss this during these 3 days in different contexts. But it's going to change a lot when you know that we produce versions like this. So what about the on-premises releases? We can't do that as quick or as often as we normally, as the online environment. We can't. So we will collect, we'll put these things on a shelf and then build it and release it to the market in a traditional classical way. That's what we're doing now with SuperOffice 8 for the on-premises market, is this kind of project again. And there's, of course, a challenge doing this and at the same time doing this. Because we haven't stopped releasing new releases to the online environment in the same time as we're working with preparing the 8 for the on-premises market. So how often is it wise to do this? And can we do like Microsoft? I mean, they have automatic updates of their operating system. It's an installed piece of software. Can we do the same? All the web, the browsers are updated automatically. It's a piece of installed software. Can we do the same? We're in that discussion. We haven't decided that. It's a huge project. So we can just discuss that together with you. There will be a lot of moving parts, as we say, if you start doing that. But it's an interesting thought to bring the customers along the way in small steps instead of these huge, complex steps. We will continue having the red alert system for on-premises customers. So, why cloud first? and continuous delivery, to handle complexity. I don't think it's possible to do this giant project anymore. It's too complex, too many components, too costly. And it's not fun. I don't think developers will work that way anymore. From time to time, yes, to secure the company's revenues, but... And because, of course, market expectations. It's now like the customers are expecting us to fix bugs and introduce features sooner than before. It's as simple as that. They expect that. If you don't do it, they will look at you as an old-fashioned software vendor. And, of course, it's possible, because we have one installation to care about, not 10,000, as you have in on-premises. It's impossible to introduce new versions in the on-premises market every second week. If you have one installation, it's possible to do it. So that's, of course, the facilitator overall. Okay, so then another question pops up. If we start working with the software in that way, how does this affect other functions that we need to talk to the customers and support the customers? Communication, marketing, our community, product managers, consultancy. How do we update them as well? Not only the software and forget about it. I don't have these answers, but what I see is that we need new structures, new ways of working, and another rhythm to present this to the market. As simple as that. Because this is a new school, definitely. SuperOffice App Store. Gisle had lined out the business aspects of it. I'll look slightly at the some technical aspects. Do you remember this one? This was introduced exactly 2 years ago. And we even had a live demonstration together with GEAS. Very successful, actually. The first sketch of how we thought this could work. And now we are able to introduce the first version, would I say, of the App Store. And we're presenting applications that is integrated with SuperOffice. And why did it take so long? 2 years. I think it's because of this simple sentence. If you have a piece of software and you want that to run together with someone, you can't install and run that in other people's clouds. You have to build your own cloud, as we did and as our partners have been doing. And that takes time. You can start small, like we did in 2010. This was a very simple SaaS solution, but it was a SaaS solution. And then we have been building step by step more and more into that platform. So, you know the story. There's a lot in there. It takes time to build. That's a simple answer to that question. And I think for all of us, it took some time to imagine that, well, you can't really run your own software in other people's cloud. You just have to make sound, stable, secure integrations. And if you want to do business with SuperOffice in the future, you just have to cope with this picture. As simple as that. I think that message is quite clear. One more thing before I leave this picture, and that's about security. Because not being secure in the cloud is the worst thing you can do. If you have a reputation of not being secure, if you have an accident and your answer is not sounding good for the press, you will be out of business. We all have small security holes, but we have to work continuously to tighten the holes, get rid of them, and show a continuous process where we are concerned about the security. If you have a security breach and you can have a good answer to it, then you will survive. But having a security breach, not being able to have good answers, you're out of business. So that's why we have a cooperation with a Norwegian company called Watchcom. They are specialists in security. They work with us every week. One day a week, they come to our offices and they work with the developers, all aspects of security. And they are the ones that are certifying, running the security test on all the applications that goes into the App Store. And I think those of you who have been working with Watchcom will have seen that it's very valuable to how you cope with security. It's very specialized, so I urge on you, if you haven't done it already, to work with a specialist. Doesn't have to be Watchcom, but they are very good. But work with this external company on security. Custom apps, custom applications, few words. Build apps because now we talk about the App Store as it was, and it will be filled of standard applications, a couple of clicks to do the integration. We still dream of one-click integrations, but we're a bit far from that yet. But it's possible to build custom applications. If a customer subscribes to expand the services, we have collected all the different tools in one package. It's called Expand the Services. You have to subscribe to it. It's the same on premises as it is in the cloud. And you can start developing customized applications in the same way you used to, as long as you have your own cloud to put it in. Because you cannot put it in our cloud. Yet. Maybe. I don't know. But you know, those of you who have been working with the page framework, you know, you can customize the behavior and the code of SuperOffice web version. It's not there yet. But we do have the ambition. But it will definitely take a few years to get in that position, to be able that you guys develop and change the code of SuperOffice, and we are able to execute that in our cloud. But we have the ambition. I'm not even sure if you can do it, but we have the ambition. Listen to Tony, he's got more. Okay, I just have to say a few words about features and functions. There's a lot of technology and processes and disruptive stuff. But what are our thoughts, main thoughts about what's coming on the future horizon when it comes to features? We have started a project to introduce what we call dashboards in SuperOffice. Simple, standardized dashboards. It's not an analytics tool, not at all, but it's dashboard, graphical. You've seen it in service, and now we're introducing it for the rest of the user plans as well. We will work hard to improve Office integration. It's even more complex and important now in the web environment and in the cloud. But as you know, it's an advantage, competitive advantage for SuperOffice, this very good Office tools integration. And we will work a lot with that in the future. You see a lot of things happening in marketing. Marketing automation and in automation in general. We'll take a lot of things that we have done for SuperOffice internally. You saw that picture with all the bubbles. And that is functionality that we plan to standardize and put into the product. So there will be more automation and more features inside marketing. Of course, we will work more with the mobile apps. We think we have a good opportunity to develop a more person-oriented SuperOffice. You know, service is more person-oriented than good old sales and marketing. And merging these two models will make it easier to sell to more person-oriented companies, consumer-oriented companies. And then we have the idea. If you combine customer center and the old audience and add a new vision, you will have a set of what we call customer-facing apps. If you think about SuperOffice, the core SuperOffice is applications that are built to make the company, the customers, employees more efficient. It's an internal tool for the employees. But Customer Center and Audience is not built for the employees, it's built for the customer's customers. It has customer-facing applications. So we have some ideas about that, and I'm not sure how much Sverre is going to talk about that in the next session or some of his specials. Yeah, he is. But we have some interesting ideas. You probably see the picture. We have employee-facing applications, and we have customer-facing applications. So let's see what we can do with that idea. We have to work more with social CRM, and you probably have your own opinion about what we should work with, I suppose. And you will be asked quite soon. We planned this survey with 2 simple questions. 1, existing customers, what do they ask for? We need that, to know that, to create loyalty among customers, to give them more what they ask for. And it's a slightly different question when it comes to new customers. How can we strengthen our offering when you meet new customers? So we will send out this survey, and you can prepare already now to answer that, and we will take that, of course, into account. Then my last slide is about the roadmap. What's happening now? Just reading the map. This, I think I have to throw my glasses, is the master plan for introducing the on-premises 8 version. Beta 2, the beta version that goes into production at customer sites, was introduced on the 1st of October. So it's available. Then we go into a period where you have beta programs, and that includes the migration tools that Gisle showed you. And we are planning a release of SuperOffice 8 on premises the 20th of November. Thank you. That means that all new customers will have SuperOffice 8 from 20th of November with the new price list. So you better hurry up. We better hurry up with the new price list. And, as Gisle said, we have to prepare a lot, but we are launching a migration project in February. But we have to prepare a lot of stuff to be in a position to handle our customers, all our users, in an efficient way, and to drive this shift that we are talking about. So it's just not like before that we have a new version, we put it on the shelf, give it to you guys, and you take it to the customers. It will be followed by a program, a marketing program, so that we are able to drive this shift that we have been talking about, both Gisle and me. So, my summary of recommendations before it's lunch. Get 8 ready. I don't think it's a big challenge. Get web ready if you're not. Get cloud and app store ready if you're not. Engage in a migration program. You're an important part of that. And drive the technology shift that we have been talking about. I think you should develop your processes in the direction of online first and continuous delivery, at least to follow our rhythm. And have fun.